So, welcome everyone to the Fruits Basket Podcast, the only podcast where we talk about Fruits Basket, Simple Gear, Fate Khalid, and of course, how awesome Satsuki is.
Oh my god. This is great. Hey everybody, it's the Fruits Basket Podcast. Let's just pretend like everything before this never happened.
Exactly, that was just the introduction. No one cares about that. It's like the ReZero or part, the opening part of those. Like, I'm the only one who listens to those, and everyone else watches the rest.
Oh my. So yeah, like I said before, this is gonna be the last show we're gonna cover of the episodes, and then next Friday will be the super duper last show, where we just go over the whole show.
Yes, and talk about why Tohru is best girl for like 42 minutes.
That's probably gonna be most of it. I'm not sure how long it'll be, but whatever.
Yeah, well, we'll figure it out, and it'll be next Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like Fridays are a good time for Fruits Basket.
It definitely is. I hope the next season will air on Friday.
Yes, we should tell them that it has to air next on Friday, otherwise we'll be mad.
I agree.
Exactly. I'm going to go to Japan and tell them I'll be right back.
Wait, you're going to Japan? Oh, God. Fruits Basket episode 25. Summer will be here soon. Which is not true.
Well, that is, but it also gives me an idea. My theory is because of that, they're actually saying that it's going to air next summer.
Whoa!
Because that would be like an interesting way to like sneak in the release date without actually saying what the release date is.
Whoa! I don't know what I'm doing.
Neither do I, but that doesn't stop us.
As Kozma prepares to leave, Kyo rushes to tell him goodbye. During this, we learn that Kyo has a deep or profound love for Kozma, and wishes to be good enough to be called his son or something or the other. Later on, Yuki tells Tohru that he's going to try and snatch that heart, you know what I'm saying? But we all know Yuki likes me, and not Tohru. Psh! Also, Rin arrives, Akiko is doing things with Shigure, and 2020 for Season 2.
Exactly, yes, there are definitely things involved with Akiko and Shigure.
It was interesting. So I guess we go from the very beginning. We have to start off with a flashback.
Yes, back to Kyo's childhood, and they keep like focusing in on Kyo when the people around him are like whispering things about him, how he's a monster and all that. Mm-hmm. And it definitely feels like the reason that they keep like highlighting that, we've seen it before, but it's really like driving how much that's in Kyo's mind.
Right. It's not. We've seen so far. It's not very easy having the cat spirit.
Yeah, exactly. And we get a little bit more about Kozma's grandfather too, like how all that ties in. Mm-hmm. And like Kyo just not like understanding why Kozma took him in like that. He feels like he's not worthy, that he's being a burden.
Right. And I think Kozma. Well, I think we should go ahead and talk about that scene where he goes in and he sees his grandfather.
Yes, because that definitely gives an understanding of who Kozma is and what he wants to do, and like, yeah.
Right. So he goes in, and he's like behind this, like he's in this cell basically.
Yeah.
This wooden cell, and I think he has some mochi.
Yeah, something like that. Why is there so much noise from upstairs? Anyway, continue.
But yeah, so he has like something like a mochi or something, and he tries to give it to Kozma, and Kozma's like, no, I'll get a curse. And he reflects on that, and he's like, that was really harsh to say that. That was not something I should have said there. And he makes like an observation that just having the cat spirit is it's almost cruel to have it, because you're always getting ostracized, and people think that you'll curse them or whatever.
Yeah, that's the reason he's been locked up like that. And something we saw is from the last episode, it seemed like his grandfather like couldn't control it, but here he's just like very gentle and good. So I'm wondering if he's like this normally, but he also has that side he can't control, or.
Mm-hmm.
It also makes you wonder where they get the charm that lets Kyo like not transform like that.
Do you remember the first episode?
No. Because he had it since the very beginning, I thought.
Right. But if you remember in the first episode, there was a certain person in like a magical circle thing.
Oh, yeah.
So that may be where he gets it?
I took some... Let me go back to the top of my notes.
Toki says they will explain the beads.
Okay. Okay, one of my first notes about the series is that I like Hana.
Yeah, Hana's great.
Even from episode 1, she was great. Okay, so they'll explain the beads later. Okay, back to my notes for this episode. Yeah, and I did like how I saw like how Kozma was showing Kyo the outside world, and just like how that opened up his mind to everything, since he's basically locked inside by his mother.
Yeah. Kazuma gave Kyo like freedom to be.
Why is
what?
And I continue. I was confused by the chat.
Kazuma gave Kyo to be free. He gave him freedom to do what he wants, and for the most part, be who he wants.
Yeah, that's definitely it. It let him grow up. And something else too that we know is, or that I picked up on, is they were saying that Kyo's father couldn't handle him. So his father was still alive and around, but he didn't want or couldn't take Kyo.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. I think Francesca was talking to it about me, about how this show has more of a focus on mothers than it does fathers.
Yeah, that's true, because we have like most of the main parents have been the mothers. I think Kozma might be the only like father we've gotten much of.
That and Hana.
Wait, well, Hana kind of had both of her parents.
Well, yeah, you're right.
But yeah, her father did not get any more treatment than her mother, at least not by much.
Mm-hmm. Or not much that we've seen.
Yeah, we also don't know anything about Tohru's father, at least very little.
We know that he's done. He had some impact though.
There was Uo's father, but like and like how he was a drunk and then kind of.
Oh yeah,
better.
I keep forgetting about Uo's father. It always takes me a moment, like Uo's father.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, there's a lot of great mothers in this show.
There are. Not so much fathers. So Hana's is pretty good. Okay, we'll learn more about Tohru's father later. So yeah, we have... Oh, and something else interesting is that Kozma was saying that Kyo has to breathe the air of higher places. And I feel like there's a lot of symbolism in that line. It's like... It could be like seen in nature, like away from the world, away from the somas, and that could be it, or just like rising above all the talk and the rumors about him.
I think, yeah, you can't always be, down in that. And I think what he was like saying, like higher up is like fresh air, which means new opportunities, maybe ways to not be around all of what he's been around, because so far it seems like up to that point Kyo was kind of maybe coddled too much.
It was like he was suffocated by everything around him. It was either his mother like keeping him in the house, not letting him get out, or the other family like having like all this fear of him, or the other people around him. And Kozma was the first person to not be like that.
Mm-hmm. Kozma gave him that freedom to be to who he wants to be. I mean, it goes back to that, I think.
And he's kind of an outcast from the rest of the family, but I think that's for the best. Like, you've seen how messed up the family is.
Yeah, I think that offers a different perspective with Kozma, because Kozma isn't always, with Akito or whatever. He's living a totally different life than what the Somas are living, and he's experiencing probably different things.
Yeah, he's a Soma, but he's not part of the inner family, and it seems like he's kind of distant from the family as a whole.
Yeah, and because of that, he's obviously a better person because of it.
Mm-hmm. And then we also got that scene with Tohru and Kozma as Kozma's leaving, and just like getting some of his perspective on this too.
Right, there's this whole thing about how like Kyo wants to like have Kozma respect him, which I thought was awesome. I think it was a great thing for Kyo's character, because it shows that he's not just some tsundere who locks himself in his room. He still has these goals he wants to achieve, and he obviously cares deeply about Kozma and wants to be something.
Yeah, and like he wants Kozma's respect and to like be the type of person that Kozma is.
Yeah, and I think that's I think it shows a lot of character development for Kyo.
Yeah, and I think
the previous episode.
And I think one of the interesting things is in this episode, like how self-aware the characters are of like their weaknesses and what they want to be.
Yeah.
Or at least how they view themselves in a sometimes distorted way.
Right, and I think that also I think that goes back to all of the Somas kind of being like broken people.
Yeah, they're all very broken in some way, and it's like they don't fully understand their own brokenness.
Mm-hmm. It's very. I find it interesting because they'll sometimes like. I don't know, like for example, Kyo will say like in the last episode that if he's gonna lose Tohru, he might as well like make her hate him. Where in the next episode, they're totally fine, and he probably overreacted in that moment.
Yeah, and he'll look back, and even if we don't see it, he knows he overreacted.
Which I mean, also I think Kyo was just scared of what might happen and wanted to keep that a secret because everyone else hated that form. Tohru was the first one to really kind of like. I mean, obviously, Tohru probably doesn't, like that form, but she accepts Kyo, even though he turns into a horrific monster who smells really bad.
Yeah, it's like from our perspective, we can see that Kyo is wrong for lashing out at her, but given his mindset and everything he's been through, him lashing out makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And I think, and also like, Kyo's whole character, there's a little thing in there where especially in this episode, he brings it up where he says he doesn't want to be a burden, and I think that's a big part, or maybe a bigger part of his personality and his character.
And I think we have that to a degree with all the characters too. Like Tohru has had that mindset too. She does when her mother died, she didn't want to be a burden anymore, so she just lived in that tent.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that might be something that both Tohru and Kyo will learn together, is like how to let themselves be burdens to others when needed.
Right. I think we may have talked about this in previous episodes, how a lot of the characters do find themselves burdened. You bring that up and it reminds me.
Yeah, we definitely talked about it with Tohru, but I don't think we have with like the rest of the characters. But I think that's definitely a way that a lot of the characters feel.
Which is kind of like... That's kind of like what a lot of lonely people do as well. They just don't want to be a burden. They don't want to cause any trouble, anything from the status quo, because that's just how they live. So that's another thing you can kind of like take from that is Kyo is probably a very, very lonely person.
Mm-hmm. It's like Tohru is the first person to help him break out of that, other than Kozma.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be why he was so grateful to see Kozma again, is because that was someone who he could feel he could be a burden on, even if he doesn't want to.
Simtoki says, the cat is treated like a burden on the whole Soma family from the time they are born. That is very tragic.
Yeah, and it's like how this cat is outside the Zodiac, but it's still like one of the Somas like that.
I hope, like, as we get further into the next season, they'll kind of delve more into why exactly that is.
Yeah, and I definitely feel that they will. It's just like it's an aspect that they'll definitely dig into.
Right. We also see Yuki's room I don't know if we've seen his room before, maybe once.
It looked much messier than I was expecting.
It was really messy. Yuki is sort of kind of a slob.
Yeah, also, there's one other thing I want to talk about with Kyo, to go back to that for a second.
Oh, okay.
And that's what Kozma was saying is like, Kyo, my son, you're not done causing me trouble. And I feel like that line addressed everything that Kyo was wanting. He was like, to be recognized as a son, to not be a burden. He's like, it was combining all that together with a statement from like how Kozma, like, you're my son. It doesn't matter that you're adopted. Like, I'm there for you.
Damn, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a reason I wrote down that line specifically.
Damn, that's beautiful. That's really good.
Yes, a great writing on the writer's part. And then there's also interesting how Kyo was thinking it was childish for him to want to run away to go back to the dojo. And I think that's a theme we also see with a lot of characters, is how many of them are childish in ways, sometimes because they are children, but it's like not running away, facing these problems like head on, that's a sign of being mature and growing up.
It's also a sign that they're fighting back, against...
Yes, that's...
I think a lot of them feel probably they can't do anything because they turned into these animals.
Mm-hmm. And that's like scarred them and pushed them back. But I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think that was one of the things later on in the episode, how they're saying they're all fighting, they're all trying to move forward.
Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, some of them, I think, especially after Tohru was introduced to all their lives, it definitely has spurred them to do more.
Yeah, it's like they're all in their different ways because of Tohru. They're all like fighting back against everything that's happened to them.
Yeah, really great stuff. This episode was good for like the really small stuff.
Also, I have a hilarious typo in my notes we'll get to later.
Oh man. But yeah, so Yuki's room is a mess. We figured that out, and we get... Well, keep that in mind for later, because there's a scene later with Yuki. So Yuki, Kyo, Tohru, Shigure, they all I think have breakfast, is it?
Yeah.
And Yuki and Kyo fight like always. Things are seemingly back to normal. And then we get a scene where they reflect on the events from the previous episodes, and there's no subtitles.
Yeah, like their subtitles were missing for like a couple lines.
Yeah, what happened here?
Oh, we got when they were fighting over breakfast. That was interesting. Like you had their chopsticks touching, so like Yuki just threw them away, not wanting them anymore.
Yeah,
and
that was really
like,
funny.
But it's interesting. Kyo made a comment that he's not going to let Yuki get to him anymore, but then that doesn't last long.
Yeah, it doesn't last long. And I think that's one of those things where you can't make a statement and say, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, and then you just lose the 20 pounds. You have to work up to losing the 20 pounds, and I think Kyo's weight is how Yuki affects him. And I think it would take a minute.
Like, he can handle one insult, but get to a second one, and then they're back to normal.
Right.
And I also liked how Kyo called Yuki a girly boy here.
He's such a babe.
It reminded me of Twin Tails.
Oh, wow. Now that's Twin Tails is the thing.
Yeah, I have a meme I want to make, but it's my computer blue screen, so I didn't have time.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. We almost didn't do the podcast.
No, I was going to do a podcast. I just might have had terrible audio.
Oh, yeah, well, that too.
We'll find a way to make a podcast work. Even if I have to show up at C's house at 4 a.m., we'll still do it.
Yeah. I think we should definitely do a live podcast from my house.
All right, I'll be there soon.
So Kagura decides...
there's a comment from Kyo Anime, not the actual studio, I think. But they're saying they read the manga where the part that the subtitles were missing, and it was if Tohru wondering if Yuki knew about Kyo's true form.
I would really love to see that.
Thank
you, Kyo Anime.
Did you watch it on Verve?
I watched it on Verve.
Okay, yeah, because there's like one line that was missing, but then it came back. Because I do remember seeing that.
There's like a couple, I think, for me.
Apparently you're also quiet compared to me, so can you increase your volume or something?
I downloaded the new OBS, and that may be why. Version
Kill
24.
someone, that makes more sense. Okay, next week for the final podcast, we'll all do it from C's house, including Satsuki.
And don't let Satsuki out of the dungeon, please.
I'll think about it. It depends on who bribes me with more pizza.
So we get a flashback to the events of the previous episode, and Kagura is going to leave, and there's something. I think this is the start of something here.
There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, and to answer XBeat's question, no, we did not live close. So, nor have we ever met in real life before. But we should. That'd be fun.
But yeah, so I think this is the start of Kagura leaving is very telling, because I think she's kind of, through process of elimination and hearing the conversation, of course, she kind of doesn't probably like the fact Kyo is closer to Tohru than Kagura.
That could be, but I feel there's something more to it than that.
Go on.
I don't know what... Oh, it makes me wonder, like, is there something going on at the Soma house? Because we have Kagura randomly disappearing but coming back later. We have Shigure going there. There's something else. Whatever goes on with Haru and the Rin.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I feel like there's definitely stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't get yet.
Yeah, I do feel like we haven't gotten the full picture. I think that's kind of been the whole point of the show, really.
Yeah,
like,
we never get the whole picture. We'll get it in, like, the final episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, Satsuki. I know C is happy we got Rin in this episode, but he puts in... He says, Tosaka, please do not assume my waifu, Satsuki.
Your waifu is just every Rin.
God damn it. So we get a scene where it's...
Plus Yuki.
Yuki is at school, and Tohru is walking up the stairs, and Yuki's like, "Hey Tohru, what you doing, girl?" And basically this whole scene is like, it feels weird to me. It almost felt like cringy, but not the fact that this was written very cringy, but I feel like
it's cringy because of like what the characters are doing or something.
It's not. Well, okay. So what Yuki does here is he's like, he says a really great line. Honestly, he says he says something, but he says something about how his plants and how they not all of them are dying anymore.
Oh, wasn't that like later on in the episode when the Yuki and Tohru were talking, and he was trying to like say how he has grown? These kind of stupid examples.
Well, it was kind of like an example for him to say like, hey, since you came into my life, everything has gotten a little bit better for me, and I've grown a little bit because of you.
Exactly. And well, Yuki was also saying that he'll hate Kyo even after he's dead. So like, there's a lot of animosity there between him and Kyo, and maybe he's sort of jealous that Kyo is growing with Tohru.
Probably, maybe. I don't think we've seen enough to, at least from my perspective, I don't think I've seen enough to be
Yeah, definitely not enough, but we're getting these like small hints.
Definitely. And so Yuki does the Kabedan, and Tohru almost dies.
Oh yes, that was amazing.
She hits the back of her nape.
Yeah.
On the stairwell, and then Yuki's like, if you're not careful, I'm gonna, go out with you and hold your hand and be girlfriend boyfriend with you. And then like
Tohru's like,
yeah,
that's what Tohru said.
That was also my reaction, because Yuki is the only one for me, so I was a little offended by this whole thing.
You don't want Tohru to steal your husbando.
Exactly. But they won't anyways, because I have made a prediction, and I think this prediction will come true. I think Kyo x Tohru is going to be the main ship.
Yep, I agree with that, especially after the last episode.
It just can't be.
We kind of skipped over Haru and Yuki, and I'm not just saying that because Francesca mentioned it.
I didn't have that anywhere in my notes. So
we have like Haru was like watching Yuki and saw what had happened. And he was like worried about Yuki. And oh yes, Haru had Pat's Tohru. Tohru is confused, and I want to have Pat Tohru now.
Yes.
Yeah, and I just really like Haru in this scene. Like, he's very wise. He wants what is the best for all the characters. He might be the most like mentally stable of all the characters when he's not in his Dark Haru form.
Of course, yes.
But we need more of that form. We just need more Haru in general.
I just want him to turn into a cow again. I know that sounds weird, but he's got the best hair.
I mean, yes, he does, like his like grayish hair. That is very impressive.
And in cow form, it just looks beautiful.
Yes, we should have a cow be part of the next podcast.
Okay.
I'll just do it from a farm. I think there's some cows nearby. Yeah, we also had like Yuki ask about Kagura too. Though, was Yuki the one that she talked? Yeah, because Yuki was the one that she talked to right before she left.
Yeah, and it seemed like Yuki wanted to say something to Kagura. Probably like, hey, everything will be alright. And then Kagura gave him that look of like, no, don't think it will, bud.
Yeah, where is that note? Again, like Kagura was like wanting Yuki to tell Kyo that she'd be back later, but she knew that he wouldn't actually tell him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this whole Kagura and Yuki thing is interesting.
It is. Maybe they'll end up together.
Do you think that?
No. But
that would
I can.
Be interesting. I actually kind of want to see that.
No, I want to see Haru and Kagura now. I don't know why. I just do.
How would that work out?
I have no idea. I'm not a romance anime writer.
It would have to be like one of those things where like Haru's all wise and stuff, and
yeah, he's like
calms down Kagura.
Yeah, like she picks up the table to throw at Kyo, and like he puts his hand on her shoulder. He's like, "Okay, calm down. This will not help things." And then Kyo says something else, and like he turns to Dark Haru. Is like, "No, I'm going to take the table and throw it at him."
No. Haru just like once if Kagura gets angry, Haru's like, "If you don't stop, I'm going to fight you." And then that scares Kagura. So Kagura's like, "All right, whatever. I guess I'll stop being crazy for once." Which, by the way, speaking of Kagura being crazy, she just comes out of nowhere and just drags Kyo by his leg.
After she does a flying kick to knock him out.
Oh yeah, like a flying one-legged drop kick, I believe.
Exactly. I should do that next to my CC.
But she's like, she grabs onto his leg, and she's like affectionately holding it and rubbing against it, and she's like, "My Kyo."
Yeah.
I don't like when Kagura, when there's violence involved, but this was just pure insanity. I loved it.
Exactly. It was like so violent, it was funny.
I don't really like the violent part, but the leg thing with Kyo, that was great.
Yes. Oh, well, you also have something else from the scene with Yuki and Tohru. Is that how Yuki wants to someday become a man that can express his feelings without being overcome by them?
Yeah.
And we see that a lot with Yuki this episode. Like, he wants to keep things bottled up and in, otherwise his feelings will overcome him. Like, he'll be overcome by filthy feelings like hatred and disgust, which he doesn't want to happen. Again, implying it did in the past. So that could be why, like, Yuki seems to be so emotionless because he keeps it all bottled up.
Yeah.
So like, he needs to find the balance.
He, that actually does explain a lot, I used to be that way. I used to be like, keep it all bottled up, and I was like, people would walk up to me and be like, "You look either sad or you don't even have facial expressions. What's going on?"
And that's when you start sending him fakely gifts to get a reaction.
And that's when I turned 18 and was like, didn't really do that anymore.
Exactly.
I was like, okay, maybe I do have to like actually like emote and be a human.
What's a human?
These weird they got like these two things on the bottom, and then they like move them outwards. And
yeah, I've never heard of them.
It's weird. We also Ayame. They all have like a get together at the end. Ayame's there. He says he's still number one, which he is.
Yeah, we still have the two random guys that are the guy and the girl who were watching Yuki at the school.
Oh, that was wonderful. There was a lot of small things in this.
There's just, it feels like they, like after the part with Yuki and the stairwell of Tohru is like, okay, we're done with the season 1 stuff. Now let's tease a lot of stuff for season 2.
Maybe that's what it was for, because I think someone, maybe it was Francesca, said that there's a lot of foreshadowing.
Yeah, well, something else about the stairwell too. Sorry to keep going back to things, but the stairwell is like Yuki was walking up the stairs toward Tohru, so it's like he wants to grow and be like Tohru is what that seemed to be symbolizing.
Also, they made sure to show them that they're one step apart.
Ah, yes. So whether that's close or far, it's kind of both.
He's there, but he's not going to win against my man Kyo. My boy.
Exactly. Kyo's a cat and Yuki's a mouse, so cats always win. I should get a cat.
I have like 4. You want one?
Sure. I'll go, when we do the live podcast, I'll go back with me.
Hell yeah. Just take them all.
I don't think I want that many.
They're all so cute, though.
Is one named Kyo?
Yes.
Okay. That might be the one I take.
I named one of them Kuroneko because he is a black cat. She.
Didn't you name one Hibiki?
I did.
Perfect.
They're all Japanese names, and my mother is confused. What does this even mean? I'm like, it's Japanese. Come on.
Well, my aunt has a cat that's named Kira, and now I think Kiriki from Sympho Gear.
There you go. Just name all the cats after the murder lollies.
Exactly. I mean, that cat doesn't like me, so she might want to murder me, so.
But anyways, they have like a get-together at the end.
Yes, and because we have the two random people in the school looking at Yuki. We have Kagura doing the flying dropkick to Kyo and then dragging him home.
Ayame's there. Like everyone.
Everyone
Kisa.
Everyone except for Ritsu, someone pointed out in like the comments on her.
Yeah, where's Ritsu?
Yeah, have we seen Ritsu at all since his episode?
No.
Oh, in Hero, but we saw what was going on with him.
Ritsu's amazing.
Exactly, and we have Yuki's brother who brought a lot of crap, which I had a typo and said she brought crap, so.
That's great.
Yeah, that's the time I was making. I was like, that doesn't look right.
May not be completely wrong on that, but
yeah. There's a line from Yuki too, I think it was before that, where he's saying like there are times when we want to run away, but we're all fighting through that. And that's just like how they're all fighting through this in their own ways.
Yeah, it shows that also they don't want to run away. They want to, no matter how much in a moment they do, they are still facing that and still trying to get through it because they have it's a whole family, you know? You can't just abandon someone.
Basically throughout this entire series, we've seen the characters choosing not to run away. Like Kyo and Tohru chased after her. He did run away for a while, but then he stopped. Or like Yuki walking toward Tohru trying to say, I have changed. I want to keep getting better. Or like Ritsu opening up to people, talking to people. Or like all the characters, they've made a choice to not run away, or at least many of them.
Right.
I need to make that AMV with that Linkin Park song.
Is it just one step closer?
No, easier to run.
Oh.
That's when I talked about last episode.
Oh, yeah. You totally should.
Yes, but that would require me making an AMV, and that takes time. And I want to make videos about Fruits Basket.
This is true. So they're all they're all there. They're all having a conversation, and I just see in the background just Kagura with a headlock on Kyo. And I'm like, is he dying? Someone help him. I missed that, but... Why isn't anybody helping this man?
I mean, that's normal.
I mean, for Kagura, yeah. Probably for Chios as well.
Yeah, like he has Yuki. I'm sure Yuki puts him in headlocks all. I'm sure Kisa does occasionally as well.
Watch Emoji-san just be like... Emoji-san is like Honey Senpai from Oron.
Yes.
He's just a weapon of mass destruction.
Exactly. You don't mess with Honey Senpai, and you don't mess with him.
Exactly. Or Mori Senpai.
Honey Senpai's scarier.
This is true. This is true.
You also should watch Oron if you want another good shoujo.
Oh, they probably have all seen Oron.
For sure. But if you have... Okay, Astro, if you watch this, go watch Oron.
I was the only one to have not seen Oron until this podcast started.
Yeah, I've been watching it with a friend too, but we haven't recently. I should go do that with him.
So, Hiro is off doing a thing, talking to a certain someone named Reen.
Yes, and I had no idea what's going on with Reen. I'm wondering if Reen is Haru's mother, but that's just like pure speculation.
Or maybe Hiro's sister?
That could be because Hiro and Kisa are cousins, right?
Maybe.
Okay, chat, confirm if Hiro and Kisa are cousins. I know they're related. Granted, they're all related because they're all in the same clan, but beside the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that could be too. And it's like, we really don't know anything about Hiro's family other than his relationship with Kisa and somewhat with Akito.
Say that again? Sorry, I was reading a comment.
We don't know anything about like Hiro's family life other than his relationship with Kisa and Akito slightly.
Yeah, we don't know much. I think Hiro had one episode he was the focus of.
Yeah, and that was basically it. And then Tohru gave him the hug penalty.
Yeah, the hug penalty. It's a great penalty to be part of.
Exactly. I'd love to be hugged by Tohru and then turn into an animal.
Actually, would be kind of cool to turn into an animal. I'd turn into a bird.
Okay, apparently Hiro and Kisa are not related anymore. So I guess I was wrong.
Okay, there we go.
And then... But yeah, we got Rin like talking about like he needs to like do something with Shigure, and like she'll never give up. She'll make sure the curse does something. And I would think like she wants to make the curse go away, but that kind of seems too simple for a big surprise.
How is Tohru going to change Rin?
With a flying drop kick.
Tohru is going to use a flying violence? A flying violence. She's going to use a flying violence?
She'll learn from Kagura.
Oh, yeah. There'll be like a training montage.
Well, I mean, like, or maybe Kozma will teach her martial arts and then she'll against Rin.
I love it. Then they'll go to the Heavens Arena and they'll fight, and it'll be the Heavens Arena arc, like in Hunter x Hunter. It'll be fantastic.
And then Luvia will show up as a professional wrestler from that timeline.
Perfect.
Exactly. But before that, then we have Shigure doing something with Akito. Like, you have Akito, like...
Yeah, Akito on the knee of Shigure.
Yeah, why did Shigure go there after inviting everyone else for dinner?
I wonder as well. I think, Shigure, we know he's planning something. Oh, wait. Francesca says, what are your theories on why Rin is in the hospital with the food tray flipped on the floor and stuff? I think she has a temper of some sort. She doesn't like how something's going in the family. And I think she wants to set things back to the way that she wants them to be.
Yeah, she's definitely been through a lot and she's, like, unstable because of it. Like, it implied that she's, like, through that floor. Why? And... wasn't Hiro saying something too, like she would have gotten out sooner if she wasn't doing something? Yeah, I was trying to like type and watch, so I might have missed some things.
MCZ Protect says, you do not understand how much in bad taste that statement about Tohru hurting Rin is, or Rin getting hurt in general. So maybe... I don't know.
Okay, maybe Rin will be doing the violence things to Akito.
Just silence. Okay. So yeah, the whole Akito thing. Something. Well, I mean, the whole like final scene of this is basically telling us something's going to happen in the second season.
Okay, Francesco's saying that Rin would have gotten out sooner if she didn't keep running away. So, like, was she trying to escape the hospital? Like, what was she trying to get out so badly for? And why is Hiro even there with her? Being he seems to be like distant from everyone else, but we also don't know much about him.
Maybe drugs. She's on the drugs.
And drugs do things to people. So yeah, then we get the end. Like Yuki and Kyo and Tohru like feel whatever's coming.
Yeah. There's that. Yeah. There's something that's gonna happen.
And Sasuke's gonna go drink wine and cause havoc. Or drink havoc and cause wine. That could be too.
He's probably gonna drink havoc and cause wine. Seems like something he would do.
That's why we like Sasuke so much.
Yeah, Sasuke's the best.
Yeah, but yeah, lots of like vague foreshadowing that something big is going to happen in season 2.
MCC Dub Production says, and no drugs.
Oh, there goes that theory.
I have no idea. Maybe she had. No idea. Did she have like bandages on?
I think she did.
Interesting.
So is Rin like the Sakura of Fruits Basket? I forgot the name of the show for a second.
Oh shit. You mean like Sakura Mato?
Yes.
Oh.
I want to watch more of Heaven's Steel now.
I want to watch. I gotta. Damn it.
So I think C wants to wrap up this soon so I can go watch it.
I probably won't watch it tonight, but I mean.
Yeah.
Overall thoughts on the episode, though.
I thought it was a really good conclusion. It like wrapped up the season 1, gave it some hints for season 2, and they actually announced season 2. So it's not like they're just giving hints for something that will never come.
I'm glad after the opening they were like, "Hey, season 2 announcement," because it said like season 2 end, and then it did the ending,
like the season 1 finale, and then it said like season 2 in 2020.
Yeah, that's what it said. And that was like, oh, that's beautiful. When do you think it's going to arrive? Because you said the summer, right?
They didn't announce it, but that would be funny if they titled the episode that way to say when it's coming.
I don't think it's going to be in the winter. I think it's going to be in spring or summer.
Yeah. Gandalf is saying that, or Gandalf, King of Evil, is saying that we always knew there'd be a season 2, and I think we would know that they wanted to make a season 2, but it might have depended on like how well season 1 did, because like to make 2 seasons, they'd want to at least have some confidence it would sell well enough.
I'm just reminded that Blade of the Immortal is getting 24 episodes.
I'm sorry,
like 70.
Yeah, well, it seems like a lot of the big anime are getting season 2s confirmed, like right as the first season ends.
But not Blade of the Immortal, one of the...
No, we don't know that for sure.
I'm just gonna get angry and smash something. But yeah,
it'll be like Kagura.
I didn't like this episode as much as the last episode. Not that this was a bad episode, just, they were trying to achieve different things here. But it was like you said, it was a good conclusion. I like the little things in this, even though I obviously didn't catch much by my stuttering in this episode.
Okay,
and trying to think of something to say.
Okay, so apparently they were always saying it was be confirmed for season 2, or confirm a full adaptation. So yay, we get season 2 and maybe season 3 in 2019.
I hope we get 5,000 episodes of Fruits Basket.
Exactly. I definitely do appreciate that a lot of the bigger anime are getting the season 2s announced soon. That way we're not wondering, is this just going to end incomplete? Rising
of the Shield Hero got 2 seasons announced in one day.
And yet they couldn't announce a season 2 of Twin Tails.
KyoAni's going to do the next season of Twin Tails. They're just waiting for the perfect
Exactly. Either the studio or the person in the chat, one of them will do Twin Tails season 2.
Blade of the Immortal multiple seasons need to happen. It doesn't need to be 24 episodes. I'm getting angry. Where can they find you, Rising Senpai?
They can find me on YouTube, where I will hopefully post a video about Fruits Basket soon, except I might have lost some stuff when my computer blue screened. They can find me on Twitter, where I tweet things sometimes. They can find me on Amino, where I am possibly going to be covering a lot of like current events and stuff, assuming certain people email me back soon. And then they can also find me on Indeed.com, because apparently people want me to go work for them.
Interesting. I'll have a review out like next Wednesday for Fruits Basket. Maybe even Friday. Next Friday would probably be the better way to put that out. But
that'd be fitting. I'm hoping to get the video out tonight, but it'll determine like how lazy I am. It's probably not going to be tonight.
And then next Friday on this channel there'll be one more Fruits Basket podcast.
Yes, we will be joined by some wonderful people, and we will talk about ReZero. Did I lose C?
I will also words. Yes.
We do words sometimes. So yes, subscribe to C, subscribe to me. Also, comment in all of C's videos why you're going, but don't actually dislike them.
Why? What? You cut out.
Just go on C's videos and comment why you're disliking his videos without actually.
That would be a good idea.
Exactly. It helps the YouTube algorithm, and it also confuses anyone who doesn't know us.
Right, exactly. I've pinned multiple comments of people saying, I dislike this video because of some really weird reason, and they're all from Rising, so.
Exactly. I was going to say, they're all from me doing that, so we need variety.
Yeah, so see you guys next week for the really, really final episode of the Fruits Basket podcast on season 1 of the 2019 version.
I should bring a Fruits Basket to like eat on during the podcast.
You should. That would be a good idea.
All right, I need to stop by Sam's Club first then. Goodbye.
Goodbye.